Special guest. Whoop, he just disappeared. We had a special guest. We have a neighborhood cat that hangs out here occasionally, but you're out here today because I wanted to show you a couple of things I got that are kind of big and bulky and I don't want to bring inside. This is a pole saw, bright orange, just nice safety color, and they asked 15. I paid 12 for it. I've never used one of these, but my wife wanted to try one, and we got these two. There's two shelters here, with the one stacked on top of the other at the moment, and I paid $1 for two of them, and so I figured they might be useful for light duty for places where you don't have to throw snow, where snow just falls. That'll support and protect the bush underneath it. So there you go. I don't know where the cat went. We almost had a special guest, but there you go, folks. Pole saw and some protection. Greetings, YouTube. I've got some pieces of that from another day, which I'm going to be tacking on to the previous clip and then to the following clips. And I picked up some outdoorsy thing, which is why I'm shooting them out here. I got myself a broad shovel. When my parents grew up in Pennsylvania, we'd call this a coal shovel. And that's how I've always thought of them. But I found them kind of useful when it came to doing some kind of snow shoveling. This one's aluminum. The edge has been rolled, and I'll have to grind that edge off and make it square again. But for a $2 investment, that's definitely worth my time. And my wife's been looking for a hose winder, and I got the hose winder plus this flat style of hose for $5. And I got this Werner piece of scaffolding you can for painting and doing things like that, because my wife actually plans on doing some painting next week. So I figured this would be useful, and I picked that up for 10. So that's it. It's in decent shape. It's got some paint on it, but it's solid, and it'll help she and her friend to get where they need to go and paint properly. And then last out here we have this piece of marble. It's an inch thick, and the corners are cut out. So I think it might have been from some kind of a shelving unit, and I don't know because I got it for nothing. It was leaning against someone's mailbox, so I just picked it up and put it in my car. So it was a pretty good find. Alright, now we're on to the media section. We have Metropolis, 10 cities, 10 centuries. I expect a review on this. It's full of really lovely illustrations and maps of cities and buildings. The kind of thing I just eat up. We have a copy of the 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Player Handbook. Now, I got rid of my copy. Originally, I picked this up for $1 at a thrift shop, and I plan on doing skimming through it, probably doing an in-depth discussion of it, with talking about the different aspects of the game and why I don't play it anymore, and the things that maybe other people might be interested in knowing about it. We have the Shawshank Redemption. This is the screenplay and notes by Frank Darabont, introduction by Stephen King. This is from the Shootings script series. Shawshank Redemption is my father's favorite film. I bought that for him. He considers it to be the perfect movie. Then we have How 20 Film Directors Got Their Start, with the foreword by Robert Ebert. And it's known as Breaking In by Nicholas Jarecki. I have a fondness for films, so I thought I'd want to maybe do some reading about how these different directors got into their gig. And we have a comic that I found called Coming Home, and it's put out by the Military One Source, which I believe is a U.S. military support organization, and it's about post-traumatic stress disorder and how our service people are trying to reintegrate themselves into society, but it's in a comic book form, just weird. So I thought I'd read that and do a review of it. Then we have the Sadu, the Silent Ones, which is a comic from Virgin, which deals with mystical warriors, and I found that at a yard sale. The Trees in My Forest, which is about trees. So I thought that might be of interest to some folks, myself included. We have Fences, Gates, and Bridges. This was originally printed in 1892, and this has been a reprint. I have a fascination with technology, so I'd like to read up on how people at the end of the 19th century were viewing these different forms of technology. Quantum Man, Richard Feynman's Life in Science, by Lawrence M. Krauss. Richard Feynman is a fascinating individual. Then we have from Discovery, When We Left the Earth, the NASA Missions. This is a 4 DVD set. It comes in a cool metal tin. We have Disney's The Princess Frog. I have Princess of the Frog. I've never seen this film, so it'll be a first time for me. When I first saw it, I was just like really turned off by some of the things I thought that really were problematic. But a lot of people have embraced it, so I'll give it a read. I'll give it a watch, rather. And we have Skyline, which is a science fiction film, which I've heard is not good, but I love things that are not good. Then we have something which is awesome! Toy Story 3. I don't have Toy Story 1 or 2. I have to get those. But this film is incredible. I knew they're going to make more of these things. That's okay. But if you want to take these as a trilogy, this was a wonderful ending. It had me in tears. And we have Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham, which is a present for a present for my coworker's son, but it's for my coworker's son. It's not for. I'm not keeping this one. Then we have SquarePants or Not SquarePants, which is some episodes of SpongeBob. I'm keeping that one. Then we have Tom Cruise's The Last Samurai. My wife was asking if we had that in our collection recently, and now we do. Then we have Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, and the first Fast and Furious, the collector's edition. So now I have the first two plus Tokyo Drift, so I'm going to be able to start watching these because people like them. I'm going to see if I can figure out why. And then we have Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey's Contact, a film I have not seen in a very long time. And we have this awesome box. I threw it in here because I had space on the table. And it has these two straps, both which have snaps, and it has a nice clasp. And I used a similar box for this for my nephews for a possible box with toy bits, dice, and gaming pieces. So I'm thinking of putting this together as an adventuring set. So flashlights, maybe a headlamp, compass, binoculars, magnifying glass, things like this, so they go out and discover their world. Okay, on to section 2. Next up, we have a purple plaid Woolrich shirt, which I purchased for myself, because I like the colors. I've been really fond of purple. It's kind of weird. Purple was my favorite color as a kid, then blue was my favorite color. Now I'm drifting back to purple again. Maybe I'm entering a second childhood. My wife got herself a t-shirt, a sweatshirt that says Pumpkin Day 2000 because she loves pumpkins, and she also got that at the same place because she likes pumpkins. I got these little Tupperware containers. Now there's, and I think there might be another one. There's another one in my trunk. I'm not sure. I think I may have lost one, but I thought they were cute and useful for small containers, small quantities of things. And we have a number of other ones from the same line that I happen to like. So there you go. We have Gypsy Witch fortune-telling playing cards. And these are actual playing cards, but in the corner of each one is also kind of a divination. So you can use these as divining tools or fortune-telling tools. Or just to play a game. But I thought it was kind of interesting, and I like the graphics as well. We picked that up for, I think it was $1 or $2, something like $1. I think we paid for that. I picked up a stone pig. He's just adorable. I like pigs. They're tasty. And we have a Good Grips, OXO Good Grips strainer, and this normally goes for $23, and you can see that it was never used, and I paid $4 for it. So then we have an alligator, which when you roll it, which my wife thought was cute. And we have this, which is a wall outlet cover for a switch cover. Switchblade cover, that's what I'm looking for. It says winter on it, and it has a snowman on it, and it says AC, and I'm actually going to put that up in my bedroom. I think it's cute. And I think I may actually see if I can paint the screws, because the screws I've got right now are like cream colored, so I may do that so it blends in a little better. We'll see. But it was cute. Then we have some bells, and they're on a plastic strip, which is, not great, but pretty good sound. So pick those up for $3. And I actually left the price tags on these so you can see it. We have some calipers. These are for getting like an OD measurement that you could then transfer to something else. Oh, and this one is used for getting a distance measurement. These come to wonderful points. They're in excellent condition. They have lovely patina on them. These are works of art. I'm seriously contemplating hanging these on my wall. Really, really, I like these things. They're very, very pretty. And like I said, I see these as works of art as well as being functioning measuring tools. On to the next section. Here we have an oven liner to help keep your oven clean, because once you get your oven clean, you put this in the bottom, and if anything that spills on it, you can just take the oven cleaner liner out, clean it, and put it back. And we have a bag of 5 hockey pucks. I paid $1 for this. The reason I paid for it, I've been playing with the idea, after having seen someone try to melt one of these things, how incredibly dense and durable they are, that I want to use these for some weapon projects. So I have 2 different maces I have in mind, one spiked, one not spiked, and then I thought I'd try to make a throwing star out of one, just for fun. Then we have some washers. These are very big washers. These are not quite so big washers. Then we have 4 very heavy nuts, which I plan on turning into a mace. I just gotta find the shaft that's roughly the size that I need, and then put the whole thing together. Put a cap on it, things like that. I may do something similar to what I did to the heavy mace that I made sometime last year, I believe it was. The video on there, it might be 2 years ago now. Wow, time flies. And then we have some eye hooks, which are for the 2 maces I plan on making with the hockey pucks, so that you can have a lanyard at the end. I actually had a couple more of these. I should have bought them, but I didn't. Then we have a bundle of very large spikes. Anyone who knows me knows I'm going to figure out a way to weaponize these. I haven't figured out how yet, but I'll think of something. These things are lovely. They are quite nice. Maybe I could turn them into missile weapons. George's Sprave has done it. Maybe I can too. Then we have something called a Kelvin multi-tool, Kelvin 23, which looks like a weird office desk kind of tool. And I picked it up at a yard sale just to look at it and give a review of it, because that's what I do. I review tech gear. And we have a Swisstech Bodyguard personal alarm, which I got for my wife because she frequently runs alone, so in the early morning. So I'd be happy if she had something like this on her. And I got a duct tape wallet, which got penguins on it, just a simple billfold. And this is for her coworker of my wife's, who really loves these things. Has a fetish for penguins. This is a weird one. This is a Film Shield 20 XPF, and I believe the 20 XPF is a rating for protection against X-rays, because this thing is a Velcro pouch that is lined with lead, and it feels like water. It's flexible and it's very heavy. It feels like there's a fluid caught between these layers, and it's lead sheeting, flexible lead sheeting. And it was originally designed so people could transport film without getting the film destroyed by X-rays in airports, but it would also protect other types of magnetic medium, such as thumb drives and things like that, that can be affected by magnetic sources, and X-rays and things like that. So that's just really cool. Picked up for $2. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, I'll be honest, but it was just so weird. I'm like, I gotta own that. Then we have a stack of 12 saw blades that I picked up at an estate sale. Now these are beat. They're not good for saw blades, but I'm not going to use them as saw blades. I bought these as part of weapons projects. I want to make throwing stars out of these. I'm thinking of making some points that put these on bats, to make bladed bats. I'm thinking maybe if I can find a way of putting a slot in a baseball bat, a much better way of putting a slot than I tried with my reciprocating saw, a more accurate way, I could just insert one of these into a baseball bat and then pin it in place through the hole in the center. So anyone who has an idea of how to cut a slot in a baseball bat, a wooden cylinder, I would really love to hear it. And I picked these up, I don't know, for like $3, all 12 of them. So it was a great deal. And we have a Craftsman 1.5 horsepower router, and I did not own a router before now, and now I do, and I paid $5 for this. So even if it doesn't work, it's a Craftsman, I can get it repaired for free, or replaced for free. So for $5, I figured I can't lose. I need to get a copy of the manual so I can figure out how to use it safely. But it's in decent condition, and so I figured for $5, I'd give it a go. Now we actually have one more section. I have to get pretty far away from this one, so to get it in frame, that is an old school aluminum sled. Got the grip still in place. Probably had holes here for a front line at one point, or maybe just to hang it, I'm not sure. It's in pretty rough shape. I picked it up for $2 at an estate sale. My wife is going to be probably somewhat wounded when I turn this into something other than a sled, because I plan on turning it into a shield. It's got a rolled edge, which is nice. And I'm thinking of trying something with this I've never tried before on a project, which is getting some fiberglass resin and coating the outside after I've got the hardware set up on it with fabric. So putting a fiberglass shell on the outside of this and just bonding it right there, right to it. And then, putting a design under or something. But again, doing the whole post-apocalyptic theme with it. Now, I'd consider doing a shield boss, but this is pretty thin aluminum. So in the center of this thing, I think that it would not be all that sturdy. I think I'd be better off putting a forearm strap and a grip, doing it that way, which is a more of a later period style of shield, as opposed to like a Viking shield, where a lot of the time those were almost always single grip, center grip bossed shields. I've never made a boss shield. I may do it someday, but I think on this one I want to have it be with a forearm grip and hand grip, a forearm strap and a hand grip. So that would be cool. Then we have a very large monkey wrench. It's in a little slightly rough condition. It's got dirt on it for some reason, but it's what is it? Benoins? Is it? I can't quite read it. It's from Illinois, I think, and it's U.S. made, and I can clean it up. I can use it as a wrench, and it also makes a nice, just a tool in my collection, because I happen to have fondness for American tools and big wacky things, and this is a big wacky thing. Would definitely take two hands to swing this puppy, but I can guarantee you anything you hit with this is going to go down. And speaking of that, we have a croquet mallet, because I don't own a croquet mallet as a bludgeoning tool. We have a croquet set, which is my wife's grandmother, so I'm not touching that. But I picked this up for $2, so I can add it to my collection. I don't know. I may contemplate either reinforcing this or weaponizing it with spikes. I'm not sure. I might just reinforce it, see if I can actually get some durability out of it. So I don't know. We'll see what I can do with that. Or I may just leave it there, so add it to my collection. Now, you see two practice bats on this table. This red one is here just as an illustration. This is the bat I just purchased. It is a sorry, I'm having a hard time reading this thing. Oh, I had it right the first. I had it right last time. The ultimate training device for improving hand-eye coordination. The Thunder Stick. Okay. And this tool right here, this device, this practice bat, is solid aluminum from end to end. 3/4 inch diameter, rubber grip, baseball style cap at the end, baseball bat style cap at the end. Solid aluminum. This thing would hit like a truck. Whereas this one is hollow aluminum. So you can use this in one hand and it's very fast. Very, very fast. I'm actually thinking of adding a flange here and then rigging up a harness so you could actually carry this in a sword style on your side, right or left. I think I have what it takes to do that here at the house. I have wide webbing, I could need a grommet kit, and then I could rig it up so that you could wear it on your side and carry it like a sword. But this thing was just, again, it would just hit like a truck. And here's the weird thing. I saw one of these when I was 12 or 13 at a department store, which is long gone. I don't even remember the name. It was on Elm Street in Manchester. And they did a lot of catalog stuff, a catalog store. And I saw one, I thought it was so cool, and I didn't buy it because it was too expensive. And I never saw one again. And then at a later date, like a few years ago, I discovered that these lightweight practice bats, were a thing. And I found one at a yard sale one day. And so I brought it home. Like, cool, I finally found this thing. But I didn't actually finally find this thing. I didn't find it until now, because this is the solid aluminum practice bat. It's just unbelievably massive. I mean, it's got the same, it's heavier than a baseball bat, but with a smaller diameters, you're going to get less air resistance when it's moving. It's just astoundingly rugged piece of gear, and it's so simple. And I really appreciate that. The whole concept of a good design, high impact, and simplicity. No moving parts, nothing can go wrong. You can swing this forever. This one makes a good one-handed device because it's so light. I can really move that fast. I can stop it fast. This thing you cannot stop fast. Just too much mass there. So there you go. Project for coming up as far as the shield goes. Potentially one with the mallet. I'm not positive or not, and I need to get that cleaned up. But yeah, this is some great stuff. I'm keeping this one in the house. That one I'll put in the garage. But this thing is just too bloody awesome.